At IWC in the locker room area. We have a very special guest right now.
We really are backstage.
Crazy Colt Cabana. Thanks for coming on,
Thanks
Colt.
for having me. I appreciate it. I love it. I love it.
Came the whole way from Chicago.
Yes, made the hall for tonight's show.
That's
It's going to be a great show.
There's a lot of people out there.
People are here. The card is stacked. Colt Cabana is here. What else can you ask for, you know?
I think half those people, 3/4 of people came to see you.
We can only assume this. We really can't.
Well, they love you because you've been around this area many, many times, and they keep coming back to see you because they know that you put on a good performance.
Well, I love being here in Pittsburgh and wherever your home state is at home. I love being there too. Big fan. IWC is my home in Pittsburgh, and I love IWC, what they do, the promotion, how they put on a show, how they care for the fans, and how they care for their wrestlers. They really care for their Norm Connors, runs a tight ship here, and this is my home in Pittsburgh. It definitely is.
We're glad to hear that because we love seeing you in the ring.
Awesome.
You're a phenomenal worker.
Thank you.
Phenomenal worker. Let's back up a little bit, Cole.
Okay.
How did you get interested in wrestling, and then how did it evolve to you getting trained and whatnot?
Well, I actually loved wrestling since I was a kid. Since I was like 3 or 4, I've been watching wrestling. And I played a year of college football. Decided that wasn't for me. I still finished college, but after a freshman year in college, I decided it was time to pursue wrestling. And from there, I went to Chicago, the Steel Domain, which my trainers, Danny Dominion, Ace Steel, and they took me under my wing. They took me under their wing, and really did a heck of a job, I think. And I couldn't ask for any better trainers.
And how long is the training like?
I trained for, I'd say I was there 4 days a week, 4 hours a day for about 2 years. And then after that, you come in every now and then, but you travel the road.
No wonder you're so good in the ring.
Well,
2 years, 4 days a week. Oh, man.
Yep.
Lots of bruises and whatnot.
Of course.
Going through all that.
Lots,
Yeah.
it's not soccer.
Oh.
It really isn't, you know. This is a man's sport, and it is a sport, and it's tough. And I got the crap beat out of me. Can I say crap?
Yeah, you can say crap.
Okay, I got crap kicked out of me.
Bit permitted.
All right.
So then, what year was that?
That was 99.
99.
99, yeah.
Wow. So professionally, you've been wrestling about 4 years then.
Almost 5.
Almost 5.
Yeah.
Wow. You had a lot of matches in that period of time.
Sure. It's got to be over 500, maybe 600 matches, something like that. Yeah.
What's some serious injuries you had?
Right now I have a torn AC joint.
Still wrestling with it?
Still wrestling with
Oh,
it.
my goodness.
Tore a quad, fractured a cheek. The list goes on, you know.
Always
bruises. Yeah.
Just sore all the time. I see a lot of guys backstage here with ice packs all the time. We just keep trying to tell the fans, man, even though you know what you're doing in the ring, these injuries happen in a moment's notice.
And don't try this at home.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Because it happens in the ring, it's definitely going to happen to you guys at home, you know, if you're not trained.
That's for sure. Okay, well, your big match tonight with AJ Styles, jumping ahead a little bit.
Sure, please. Well, you said phenomenal, and I was going to pick up on that.
Well, he's a phenomenal worker also, just like yourself.
Right.
And your feud has been going through different federations, not just the IWC, but other federations. Can you tell us?
We actually started off, the first time I ever wrestled was in New Jersey for the Jersey J Cup for Jersey Championship Wrestling. And we kind of started something there because we had a really good match. I think it was the semifinals of that tournament. And he went on to win that one, unfortunately. But it was a really good match. It was the first time me and AJ really knocked heads. And from there, we've been, you know, Jersey, Kentucky, Ohio, Philadelphia, and it's really Pittsburgh. It's really made it span. And he wants my Indy belt. He wants my Indy title, Super Indy title. And I'm not going to get to him.
Not tonight.
I'm just not handing it over. That's not the way I work, you know.
Good. So you guys know each other inside and out because you've wrestled in so many cities, so many different federations. You're going to pull anything out of the bag tonight that he hasn't seen before?
I might have a couple tricks up my sleeve. You know, I'm going to try, but I'm going to do my darndest to win. I can only assume that I'm going to.
Great. Well, for all the fans out there, I want to wish you luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you being on Pro Wrestling News.
Well, I appreciate it. Anything to plug, or?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, hey, if you want to see more of Colt Cabana, go to coltcabana.com, go to the merchandise section, and you can pick up tapes, pictures, shirts, whatever you want. I'll send it out to you. You know, we'll have a good time. Christmas is right around the corner. Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever your spice is. You let me know, and I'll hook you up, all right?
There you go.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Colt.
Appreciate it. Thank you so kindly.
Thank you, sir.
It's a wrap.
Here we have the newest up-and-coming talent in all of the United States. We have Mr. AJ Styles here. AJ, thanks for coming on Pro Wrestling News and Views.
Glad to have me here.
AJ, tell us a little bit about your background. How'd you get started in wrestling? Where did the peak come from?
Well, I started at NWA Wildside, which before that was called NCW, National Championship Wrestling, in Cornelia, Georgia.
Okay.
Trained by Rick Michaels a little bit, the basics, and then I think I learned from everyone else I ever wrestled once I got in the ring.
Oh, okay.
But before that, I was not to toot my own horn, but I was two-time state champion in collegiate wrestling. Then went on to college and went to nationals there. So I had some wrestling background before professional.
That's for sure. I didn't even realize that. I bet you our fans didn't either. Yeah. And then whenever you basically hit the independent circuit and the bigger promotions, who gave you like your first break as far as, do you remember?
Well, you know what? I think my first break, you know, I could say WCW, but I don't think I stayed long enough for anybody to even notice.
Okay.
But my first break was probably the 52nd anniversary of the NWA when I wrestled Christopher Daniels.
Oh,
and we had a just knockdown, drag out, unbelievable match that really put me on the map. After that, it seemed like I was traveling everywhere.
And working just about everybody under the sun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're having phenomenal matches in every federation you work in. Tonight we're at the IWC here in Johnstown, PA, and you're up against one of your old nemesis, Colt Cabana. And we had him on earlier, and here pre-match we're talking about what's going to happen tonight. You guys have been taking your feud all over the United States.
Well, you know, it's not one of those feuds where, you know, you just want to beat the guy up, break his nose and face and everything else you could possibly get your hands on. It's not like that, because I respect Colt Cabana. The first time I ever wrestled him was in the Jersey J Cup.
Oh, yeah.
And I put him out for that. You know, I don't know if there's some animosity there or what. But
you won that cup, I remember. Yeah.
I didn't win the cup, but I went further than Colt. And
okay.
And that we needed to start this little feud up that we seem to keep going. It seems like every match, either he's up over me or I'm over him. It just goes back and forth so many times. And, you know, even tonight, it's going to be a great match. I promise you that. And he's a tough competitor.
Oh, he's a good competitor. He can really work a good match, and so can yourself. And you guys have been all over the world, all through the United States, working for various promotions, and it comes to Johnstown, PA tonight.
That's right. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, all I know, it's going to be a great match, and just as long as the fans enjoy it, I guess that's really all that matters, and as long as I keep my teeth.
For sure. Well, AJ, we appreciate having you on and you taking the time for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck tonight.
Thanks for having me on.
Sure. wrestling. How about that match?
Yeah, you know, the people really in our viewing are very lucky because you get to see guys like CM Punk and Colt Cabana and AJ Styles on a pretty regular basis.
You sure do.
You know, whether it be in the Pittsburgh area or whether it be the Ring of Honor promotion or anywhere, really, you get to see a lot of these guys around here.
They're great. I mean, I really like, and I really, really enjoy watching these guys work.
You sound like you do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I love them. I just wish Vince would, well, Vince is getting that way, but let's hope he stays with it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, the point's going to come where, who else is there going to be? Vince is going to have to sign somebody.
That's right.
I mean,
With all these injuries, right?
Yeah, so, you know, you think guys like that, I mean, they're not that much of a risk. They're really good.
Yeah, I mean, they really put their heart and soul into this business because they have something to prove. They're not there yet.
Right.
They got something to prove, and they work at it.
That's right.
I appreciate it.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
very good.
next up here, let's see, we've got, what do we got, Pat? We got Shane Douglas and Raven.
Shane Douglas versus Raven in a match, yeah.
And an interview with Shane Douglas on top of that. Shane Douglas and Raven have really been going at each other for quite a while.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
Gosh.
geez, I mean, better part of a decade, really.
Yeah, those ECW days, and even prior to that. I mean, they've carried it, you know, all over the United States and outside. And
It's funny, you got to wonder about a guy like Raven at this point in his career. I mean, you know, I don't know. Does he still enjoy going to these indie shows?
oh, geez.
He doesn't seem like it to me.
No, he doesn't enjoy it,
Doesn't
but
seem
what
like
else
it.
is he going to do? He needs a payday, I
Right.
guess.
I mean, all of us have been around him at indie shows, and he never seemed too happy to be
No,
there.
Never too happy.
no. In fact, he seems extremely the opposite. Just a bad attitude, just like
Yeah, terrible.
Well, you know, he's been there. He's been all over the place. Where is there left for him to go?
You're coming back down the ladder.
And again, you're talking about a guy who I don't know much about him and his personal life, but I don't know how close he is to his gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But,
kind of spooky, isn't it?
You know, it's just, what else is he gonna do? Then again, this was Johnny Polo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you know,
Scotty the Body.
Yeah. So you know,
He had a great body that wasn't tattooed and, you know, decent looking, and now look.
I've never been a fan. I thought you could give this guy any gimmick, and it just doesn't register on the charisma meter. I just don't get it. You know?
Well, I tend to agree with that. He doesn't get over with the fans very well. He tries. They try every gimmick known to man.
I mean, it really his biggest probably success was ECW. When I mean, people did take to the whole Raven thing for a little while.
Sure they did.
You know, because I mean, Paul Heyman really gave him time on the air to sort of develop that. You know. Even then, I didn't see it though. So
The shame of it is, he's a decent worker.
He
can work a good match.
Yeah.
I mean, they really work out a good match whenever he has a match going. But he just can't connect with the fans like you folks said.
That's true. And you know, in Shane's case, he had his own situation going that night too, John.
Yeah,
He
that's
was,
true. He was
not
ill.
very well.
No, he was sick. I mean, he slept in the dressing room for like 3 hours before that match. He had just worked 2 or 3 nights before that. And he was really under the weather.
But yet he took the time to sit down with us. He didn't have to do this. He
No,
could
he
have just said,
didn't.
hey guys, not
Because
tonight.
he's been on the show before, you
That's
know.
right. He sat down with us and he was a complete and perfect gentleman.
Yep.
Good
And
guy.
then he went out to the ring and worked, you know, 10,
his
12-minute match.
Yeah.
And he just put the working shoes on and just had to pretend he didn't have the flu.
Right.
You know,
And that's interesting you say that too, because with Shane Douglas, I mean, he's another individual who's really, he's probably in the twilight of his career.
Yes,
You
he
know,
is.
and he's done it. I mean, you know, and it's like he still wants to do it. Whether there's a place for him at this point
Probably
remains to
not.
be seen. But he doesn't come off as being a very bitter individual, as you said. When you see him, he's still willing to, like, you know, spend the time.
Sure.
You know, and Shane Douglas, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him too.
It sure is.
Yeah.
I mean, whether I don't know if there is any place for him in this industry.
There might not be.
You know, with the exception of these independent matches.
I think that'd be about the size of it for Shane. Yeah. But,
we're going to take a look at this clip.
Yeah, let's take a look at the clip, the little interview John did with Shane, and we're going to go take a look at the match too.
Wrestling fans, here we have the franchise Shane Douglas. Thanks for coming back on the show, Shane.
You're welcome. It's great to be here.
Appreciate it. It's been a while since we've been on here, but you've been on here, but we've had so many ring wars since then. It's crazy. And you've got Raven tonight, and he's a pretty big time opponent for you. You guys have been feuding here, there, and everywhere all around the world.
Well, it started a long time ago. You know, there's always been a running feud with us in the dressing room as to who the greater ECW champion was. You know, I still believe it was me because I founded the belt, made the belt mean something. He was a great ECW champion, no question about it. But we've had this running feud going on for probably about 7 or 8 years now. Not a running feud in you know, concurrent, but his head always pops up somewhere wherever I am, or mine pops up around him. And if you put the two of us in a room, it's like cats and dogs. It's not going to work.
Oil and water, cats and dogs, whatever you want to call
That's
it.
right. That's right.
You guys have done ECW, you've done TNA most recently.
Right.
I mean, you guys have carried this feud here, there, and everywhere.
We've spilled a lot of blood over this feud. My blood, his blood, some fans' bloods in the process. But I think the one thing that's great about it is when you wrestle a guy like Raven, he forces you to be your best. If you're going to get up on your best game, you got to be on your best game to beat a guy like Raven. So he forces you to be your best. But he also has something about his that fire in your belly ignite because you want to get in the ring and just kick his ass so thoroughly.
Sure.
And here in Johnstown, in the shadow of Pittsburgh, this is a place for me. If I take a loss here tonight, this could be bad for my hometown fans.
You're really going to hear about it. You go back home, and all you're going to hear is, I can't believe you lost to Raven so close to home.
Exactly. Doesn't help having the flu tonight either, but like I said, I've been in there taking my nap and the whole time dreaming about whooping his ass. So.
Oh, jeez. How do you still get up for a match whenever you're feeling so sick, Shane? You just have to grind it out.
At this point, it's become a profession to you. When you're a kid in this, it's a game, it's fun.
Right.
And you go out and the wins and losses don't matter so much to you. But as you mature in the business and you begin to realize that the fans are here to be entertained and the wins and losses do matter, you begin to think that a guy like Raven can put the game on and he can beat you a lot more than you can beat him if you're not on your top of your game, like I've said. So, like I said, it becomes a profession. You get real serious about your game at 40 years old, more so than I was at 20. I'm more serious about my game today than I've ever been in my entire career. But I have to be. I'm a bit slower, not quite as strong as I used to be, but mentally I'm sharper than I've ever been. I know much more than I knew back then as a kid. So the lack of physical prowess, if you will, is made up by the mental prowess that we make up by being 40 and being in this business for 20 years.
Great. I can see where you're coming from. You just have to adapt your style a little bit, your thinking, your ring psychology,
right,
and just bring it all to the game, even though you're sick, right?
And realize when that bell sounds, your opponent doesn't care if you're sick. The fans don't care if you're sick. They've all paid their hard-earned dollars. They've busted their ass earning their money. They deserve to see the best you can give them. So, we'll worry about it tonight after the match. I'll feel sick after the match and sit back here and lick my wounds. But right now, I've got my game face on and ready to go here in a few minutes.
And it's almost game time, so I'm going to let you go. Thanks, Shane, for stopping in.
Thanks, guys.
And we're going to shoot the match, and best of luck to you tonight.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here again.
Thank you so much. Another great match. You know, like we said earlier, Shane was sick that night. He went out. Those guys work a heck of a match. I mean, they've done it, you know, a number of times.
I mean, two guys that
sweet.
know each other so well. I mean, they've been in the ring with each other so many times. You figure they probably barely have to speak about it.
They just gel. I mean, they really work a good match. And as you saw right there, it was a great match. The crowd was into it. You know, it spilled out outside the ring there for a little bit.
Yeah. And the crowd was into the whole card.
They were.
It was a nice crowd. And
it was a great crowd.
It went well.
It was a beautiful indie crowd. They had a great number of people there, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people, and it really went over well.
Yeah, the one thing too, I mean, as bad as it sort of is with one heavy, one major company like the WWE, you do have that runoff of people who just are not in the major show right now, who you can see on these independent cards.
That's nice.
You know, I mean, you can see Shane Douglas or Raven or guys like AJ Styles who really haven't quite made the show yet, but you know, are really, I mean, AJ Styles is known worldwide.
Yes, he is.
Throughout the wrestling community.
Yep.
You know, and again in Japan, I mean, AJ Styles may be more well known than he is here in America. Same with, well, Colt Cabana, I don't know if he's done much overseas.
Not yet overseas. Throughout the United States he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But AJ, Christopher Daniels.
Environmental Fund for Pennsylvania.